Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Got so much to talk about in today's video. I go to class for a couple hours, I come back home, and the PC gaming world goes to hell as Epic Games has announced that they've acquired several massive exclusives, and PC gamers are absolutely pissed. We knew that the Epic Games Store was here to stay, but man, I was not expecting a major announcement like this. All of you guys were bombarding me in the comments section over on Twitter, being like, Mush, you have to talk about all of this, and of course I was. It's just that this came a little bit later in the day yesterday, and I was like, man, I was trying to digest everything. I heard something about the Outer Worlds possibly being an Epic Games Store exclusive, but then I was like, okay, no, the Epic Games Store has Outer Wilds as an exclusive. They're not getting the Outer Worlds. Obsidian's not gonna do that to PC gamers. Lo and behold, they've acquired Outer Worlds, and they've acquired a bunch of other games. PC gamers are devastated. I want to give you guys my input. I want to go through all of the games that they've acquired because there's a lot to take into account. There's also 3 massive PlayStation exclusives that are making the transition to PC, so that's very exciting, but that news has been underwhelming to a lot of gamers because all 3 of those games are going to be Epic Games Store exclusives. If those 3 games were announced to be on Steam, I think PC gamers would be so excited right now, but because they're on the Epic Store, all hell is breaking loose on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, everybody's going crazy. But I do want to take you guys through all of these games and also give you guys my input as something kind of scummy is going on with these publishers and their relationship with Steam. We'll talk all about that as we go through each game. First up, the biggest game that they announced was going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive for 1 year. That has to be said that with the majority of titles, they will see a 1-year exclusive time period. A lot of them still have their Steam listings up, and that's a major issue in its own right, but again, we'll get to that. So Obsidian's The Outer Worlds is going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive. This is the one that disappointed a lot of gamers as there was a lot of positive momentum with The Outer Worlds. Obsidian really caught fire with this game because of the negative reception to Fallout 76. Obsidian, of course, the guys that did Fallout New Vegas, they were bringing this new IP in The Outer Worlds and gamers were super excited. There was a Steam listing already available, so that was a little bit misleading, and let me bring you guys to that point that I really wanted to iterate in this video. Outside of those 3 PlayStation exclusives that are coming to the Epic Games Store, I believe all of these games were listed for Steam releases prior to their Epic Games Store exclusivity agreement announcement, and that in its own right is a really scummy move. Not only are you getting gamers excited on the possibility that this game is going to be on Steam, you're also kind of misleading Valve. I'm not here to stand up for a corporation like Valve who are making insane amounts of money, but The Outer Worlds is a game that I've seen promoted to me, and you're using Valve inherently as a tool to promote these games when you're just gonna go around and then sign an exclusive agreement with the Epic Games Store. Valve's gotta do something about that to save themselves because these games do not deserve inherent publicity from Valve and Steam if they are gonna sign 1-year exclusive agreements. If you're signing exclusive agreements with Epic Games Store, well then Epic Games Store's gotta do the promotion. Valve should not be doing any promotion for the game until we get, say, a few months before the game is ready to be released on Steam. That is a scumbag move from all of these developers, and I see that being brought up here and there, but you're inherently misleading gamers, you're inherently misleading Valve, and that's messed up. Outer Worlds did it, and a lot of these other games did it, and I don't care how excited I am for the Outer Worlds, that point needs to be brought up. I know it's not the cool thing to stand up for Valve, a corporation with so much leverage behind them, but get your act together on that. Metro Exodus needs to do it too. Valve needs to do something where they say, hey, look, if you're listing our game on Steam and we're gonna promote you, you better not turn around and then betray us and then sign a contract with Epic Games, take money from them, and then also take the promotion that we just inherently gave you. That's really messed up, and that needs to be remedied ASAP. So outside of that spiel, The Outer Worlds is going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive. Super disappointing for me because this was a game I was super excited for, and I should iterate the fact that it won't entirely be an Epic Games Store exclusive. It'll also be coming to the Windows Store. Obsidian just got acquired by Microsoft, so that makes a lot of sense, and The Outer Worlds is their final game before that agreement really kicks into full effect. Outer Worlds will be released on the PlayStation 4 as well, but future releases will be limited to Microsoft platforms or whatever Microsoft wants to do with them. If Microsoft wants to strike up an agreement with Sony, but chances are that's probably not going to be happening since Microsoft desperately needs the exclusives. Again, Outer Worlds, another title with that 1-year exclusivity period, and then it will be coming to Steam. How about this one? This one's really interesting. It's going a little bit under the radar, but this one might be a little bit more messed up than The Outer Worlds. The Sinking City is a very interesting case because this is a game that actually was originally set to be released this month, and then the developers put out a video saying, hey, we're gonna delay this game because we think that there's too much competition in gaming in March, and we're gonna push back the release date to June. And I bought that. I was like, hey, there are a lot of games coming out in March. The Sinking City is probably not a game that's gonna resonate heavy especially when everybody's busy with Sekiro, everybody's busy with The Division 2, Devil May Cry 5, all of these other big IPs are getting new games. I can understand why the Sinking City wants to wait, but they announced that delay and then roundabout, and here we have it. They also announced an Epic Games Store exclusivity agreement. Now, if you're telling me that those two aren't related at all, I don't know. Is it just a coincidence? I find that a little bit hard to believe. That's gonna get swept under the rug a little bit, but I sense some fishiness here. So that's something to be mindful of. Now, in the case of The Sinking City, this isn't a game like The Outer Worlds, where I think The Outer Worlds was gonna sell incredibly well on Steam. And really, do you need the money from the Epic Games Store? You probably don't, but they probably forked over a crap load of money, so from a business sense, it was probably the right decision for them to make. The Sinking City, on the other hand, there was not a lot of hype and anticipation for the game. I saw some potential in it, but I did think it was the right decision to delay the game, if in fact the reason being was because there were too many games coming in March. They delayed it to June, and June is a rather dead period for game releases, so I thought that was very smart. However, now I'm thinking there's more than meets the eyes with that video. Just my speculation, I don't know for a fact. Maybe it was just sheer coincidence, but that seems a little bit funny to me. So The Sinking City, another title. You'll see the Steam listing. It's now listed for a 2020 release window over on Steam. It will be out on the Epic Games Store come June 2019. Two other titles that are going to be Epic Games Store exclusives are After Party, and then we have Industries of Titan as well. Want to bundle those two together since they are lower key titles. However, After Party does make a lot of sense because it is coming from Night School Studio. Night School Studio, the same studio that did Oxenfree, and Oxenfree will be available as a free game on the Epic Games Store. I believe that might even be today. I might be wrong about that, but it will be available on the Epic Games Store for free very soon. So it looks like Night School Studio and Epic Games are already in bed together. So an agreement like this seems to make a lot of sense. Game is still listed on Steam, I believe, and it will be coming in 2020. Looks like a pretty sick game. A game that probably does need that inherent peace of mind where the developers can be like, all right, we already have the funding from the game. Epic Games is going to pay us a crap load of money. It'll be an exclusive and we can go from there. Another game that will be an Epic Games Store exclusive, Industries of Titan. Not too familiar with this game, but I did see some disappointment. And another game that is listed on Steam for a 2020 release window. You create a sprawling industrial city, compete with the other great houses of Titan for resources, territory, and power, do battle with ships, technology, influence, or the sheer productive power of your factory. Stake your claim to the Industries of Titan in this innovative sim strategy title. Again, 2020 release for the Steam version, but it will be out on the Epic Games Store, I imagine, this year. And the next game we have is Control. Now, this game was being done by Remedy Entertainment, the guys that brought you Alan Wake as well as Quantum Break. Control was their latest game. This one was set to be a multi-platform title from the get-go, so Xbox One, PS4, PC, and it was set to come summer of 2019. Another title that has a Steam listing up, and the Steam release date actually still suggests a 2019 release. I imagine that won't be coming to fruition anymore. Now, this is a game that I imagine Remedy is really relying on for it to be a big title. This is their first game away from Microsoft. It's being published by 505 Games, so I imagine that 505 Games made the agreement to get this game's Epic Store exclusivity. Remedy probably didn't have much to do with it. However, for 505, I can kind of understand with this game. This game does not have a lot of hype right now, not a lot of anticipation, and I do imagine even with a summer 2019 release window where it's relatively a dead period during gaming, I don't imagine that this game was going to sell all too well on PC from the get-go. Unfortunately, it's another case of I really can't defend it because it already had the Steam listing up. It already was promoted as a Steam game. That is one of my major issues about all of this, is that stop promoting these games as Steam releases before the release, then going over and signing the Epic Games Store exclusivity agreement. Do all of that stuff beforehand so we know from the get-go and gamers don't get excited. And again, as I mentioned, you inherently use Steam as a promotional tool while you also screw them over by being an Epic Store exclusive for a year. That's not fair to Steam. That's not fair to the gamers. The only person it's fair for is the publishers and Epic Games. They're making out like bandits doing this because they get the promotion and they get the money on the front end, but that's not fair to the gamers, nor is it fair to Epic Games. Now, this is a game, if it sees a 1-year exclusivity period, I don't think this game was going to sell well from the get-go, so waiting a year for Control, not going to be a big deal for a lot of people. Still a little bit of a disappointment for me because I loved Remedy's games. I loved Alan Wake. I thought that was a phenomenal game. I thought Alan Wake American Nightmare was great. Quantum Break had its issues, but I still found it to be a rather compelling experience. So again, Control, another Epic Games Store exclusive. Alright, and the last three titles, all of these games are the PlayStation exclusives making their way over to PC for the very first time, and those are all of the Quantic Dream titles. Now, these games are coming to PC because they were always second-party games, so just because these games are coming to PC, do not all of a sudden think that Uncharted 4, God of War, and these games are going to come to PC. Those are first-party Sony titles. Know the difference between first-party and second-party. Quantic Dream was a second-party studio. They were never owned by Sony, so that's why I imagine these games can come over to PC. In the case of an Uncharted 4, a God of War, a Last of Us, those are first-party games, and I doubt they'll be making the transition to PC unless you play them through PlayStation Now or something like that. But still, this is pretty exciting. Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two Souls, and Heavy Rain are all coming to PC. Now, these generally aren't received as the best PlayStation exclusives of all time, but Heavy Rain was quite good on the PlayStation 3. I thought Detroit Become Human was pretty fantastic as well, and Beyond Two Souls, I don't know about that one. I didn't really dig that game all too much. I thought that was the weakest game they've ever put out. Their first title in Indigo Prophecy Fahrenheit is already available on PC, so it's not like this is a first time for them to bring their games over to PC. However, all of those titles will be coming to PC, and again, I think if the announcement was all these games will be coming to Steam, the excitement would be through the roof, but because they're Epic Game Store exclusives, a lot of gamers are tempering their hype a little bit. However, still nice to see these games make the transition to PC. The thing about these, I'm not as upset because these were never inherently promoted on Steam. With all of these other games, they were promoted on Steam. They had Steam listings and they were always promoted as Steam releases, especially in the case of The Sinking City. Man, this was a game that was just a couple weeks away from release, then they delayed the game, and then you get hit with this. Outer Worlds was always listed on Steam since its announcement. After Party was, as was Industries of Titan, so that's a little bit of a bummer. With these three games, hey, were Quantic Dream ever really even planning to bring these games over to PC, or was the push from Epic Games what got them to bring the games over to PC? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and in this case, I'm not really upset with these three titles. I hope that at some point they do come over to Steam. I didn't read anything about these being one-year exclusives. It was just listed as Epic Store exclusives, so we'll find out with that. But if this is a case where Epic themselves are funding these games to be ported over to PC, and they control ownership of these games, hey, they're making these games possible on PC, and in that case, I'm not really that upset about it. And again, they were never inherently promoted on Steam, so I don't think there's reason to be too upset about these three games being Epic Store exclusives. The other four, be as upset as you want, and I know a lot of you guys are saying, hey, the Epic Game Store is saving me a lot of money this year. Metro Exodus, Outer Worlds, Sinking City, all these games coming in 2020. Now you have more time to tackle your backlog, but for me, Outer Worlds was one of my most anticipated games of 2019, and it's a bummer I won't be able to get that game on Steam. But for a lot of you guys, you don't even care what platform you play your games on, and hey, more power to you, but I want more power available to all PC gamers. We should have the ability to choose what platform we play on, and here's what I offer to developers. If you are stripping out choice from us, stripping out the ability to choose what platform we play the games on, you guys are already getting a lot of money up front from the Epic Game Store. Give us a discount on the games. That is what I'm asking for. I know Metro Exodus got a $10 discount. It was $50, but that's a meme of a discount. We were getting games for $50 or less on Green Man Gaming. If you want to sell me the Outer Worlds for $29.99, hey, now you got me looking on the Epic Game Store. If you want to sell it to me for $59.99, I think I can wait a year and then play it on Steam. I got a big backlog already waiting for me. And I think that's going to be the mindset of a lot of other gamers. If you want to sell me The Sinking City for $19.99, alright, you got my attention now. But if you're going to be selling that game for $59.99 on the Epic Store, I don't know if we can really be doing business that way. You guys are already getting a ton of money up front from Epic Game Store. Y'all do not need to be selling your games at $59.99 anymore. You can give us a steep discount, so that's what I'm asking for. And I offer you guys that because would that get you to jump on over to the Epic Game Store? I think that's one thing they could do if they offer a steep discount on these games. Not the $10 meme discount that Metro Exodus got, but a legitimate 50% off discount. And maybe, hey, because Epic Games is already offering these developers so much money up front, they can actually keep a larger percentage of that money when they do sell the game at a discount. Obviously, that's an agreement that needs to be made out, but I think that's something that could actually win some gamers over if we can start getting these games with a steep discount. That's just an idea I thought of on the spot, but we'll see how it plays out. I know some of you guys don't care and you're gonna buy these games anyway. I know the majority of you guys are super upset, but that's gonna wrap up my spiel. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Definitely interested to hear from you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.